Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Board of Health meeting, special meeting on Monday, March 29, 2021, at 5 p.m. Just want to note that we were having some difficulties getting set up, and we apologize for not beginning on time. I believe it's like 5:15 right now. Also, this is a remote participation Zoom meeting. It is a public meeting being video and audio recorded while cable broadcast and internet posting on www.dayton-mass.gov and YouTube. It is Zoom meeting number 819-8428-3579. The Zoom meeting passcode is 433-685, and the Zoom dial-in number is 1-929-205-6099. That being said, we'll now call the meeting to order. And if everyone would stand and pledge allegiance to the flag, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do have one member that is on his way. He's a member of this board and also a health agent in Rainham, Mass. And he is running a little bit late tonight due to his COVID responsibilities and other duties up there. But so what our plan is to move forward and give a summary of what's been going on with COVID, the in-home vaccinations, and two people who will present this will be our health agent, Todd Pilling, and also our office manager, Mrs. Rosalind Grassi. So whichever one of you wants to go first.
Do you need to do a roll call first for who's
Yeah,
here?
right now, my name's Thomas Byers, chairman, and sitting 6 feet away from me is
Kevin Bernardo, member.
okay, and the third member we're waiting on is Matt Tanis. As far as we know to present, we have nobody in the waiting room or anything on our Zoom meeting. So that being said, we'll move forward with any reports that you have for us.
Okay, so we have been dealing with contact tracing here in this office since December 1st, and I'm pulling up the counts for us right now, and I'm going to share the screen for those people at home. And for the first time, we have now surpassed the number of people who have gotten the vaccine has now exceeded the number of people that Roz and I have called.
Would you explain contact tracing?
Oh, okay, sure. So contact tracing, if somebody tests positive, they get put into the state system and we get notified of it. We then call that person, go over the symptoms with them, isolation, and ask them if anybody needs to be put into quarantine as a result of exposure to them. So that's the contact tracing. We're tracing their close contacts. And so, so far to date, it's been about 850 people or so that we have traced since December 1st. The total number of cases in town, which you can see on the chart in front of you, is 658 so far in Dayton. So at this point in time, approximately 13% of the town of Dayton has been vaccinated. We've exceeded 1,000 people. So again, we've had more people vaccinated than we have had in COVID. The other program that we're doing right now is we are taking care of homebound people. So you've seen the electronic signs moving around town. We're trying to find these homebound people. So if anybody watching knows anybody who's homebound, shut in, have them call us so we can set up to get them vaccinated at their house. Rosalind's been taking care of talking to all those people, and so far to date, we've done 9. The hard part is the net. And the electronic sign's been bringing in about 3 or 4 with every location we've put it at. We've also got it on Facebook and local cable, but we haven't gotten anybody that's called from any of those. So the other thing we are doing is the state system. You can pre-register for vaccine now. And there's some people out there that don't have access to the internet and they struggle with it. So they've been calling us, and again, Rosalind's been handling it, and she's been taking their information, entering it into the database and getting them pre-registered for shots. We also deal with an awful lot of calls of people just calling us asking for help getting the vaccine. How do I get the vaccine? How do I find a local place? We've talked to almost 90 people so far, and this is only in the last 2 weeks that those two programs have rolled out. Like I say, the contact tracing has been going on since December 1st for this office. We also had another death a couple weeks ago. We're up to 7 deaths now in Dighton from COVID. I think there's going to be one more that's popping up, but we haven't gotten that one yet. So the other thing that happened was the veteran agent who's retiring, Don Hershey. Huge shout out to him and our new town clerk, Mark Pacheco. We said, hey, veterans through the veteran system, we want to contact them, especially disabled ones, find out if any of them need help getting this homebound vaccine. So we went to the town clerk, he got us phone numbers, and Mr. Hershey over the weekend called 49 of them or 42 of them, and 7 of them didn't have phone numbers. He went to their houses and knocked on their doors. So say a huge shout out to him for his help in accomplishing that. And what else? The entire state has gone into phase 4, step 1. Irregardless of whether you're in red, yellow, green, doesn't matter. Dighton is still in the red because for Dighton, you need 25 cases in 2 weeks to stay in the red, and we're staying in the red. And we're in yellow this week, but we're going back into red. This Thursday, we'll be back into the red. We've had a few outbreaks at a couple different events in school or whatever, and so we're going to be back in the red, but we're staying at phase 4. That's not changing. So what phase 4 is doing is it allows more occupancy. That's why we're able to have this meeting in person, and we can now have like 12 people in the public here, as well as 7 people from cable and staff and boards. So it works out pretty well. You can also have more people at an outdoor gathering. You're up to 150 now, I think, and it's 100 for an indoor gathering. So that's been pretty helpful.
So these people are gonna have weddings now.
Yes, weddings are going to start happening. Baseball games now, instead of having 25 parents, which was like 1 per kid, now you're going to go up to 2 parents per kid. We're also going to see proms happening again and graduations. I know last year we were able to do graduations in some form. The schools have been amazing to deal with. They've been reaching out to us and asking us for information before it actually happens. They're working with us for guidance. It's been great. Both ways.
One day remote, one day.
Right now, they're 2 days. So like you would come to school Monday, Tuesday, and then everybody's home Wednesday, and then I go to school Thursday, Friday. And so it rotates. But come April 5th, the elementary school is going full live 5 days a week. And then I forget what the date is for the middle school, the 18th or something. They sent us the dates. I don't remember them off the top, but so.
It would probably be after school vacation, I
Probably
would suspect.
for the middle school.
Vacation begins on 19th.
And then the high school is sometime whenever they are. So we're moving towards it, and we understand there's a lot of people that are excited about getting back to school. A lot of kids want to be back there so they can see their friends and such. Sports have been starting up, obviously, at the high school, and there's a lot of them going on because some of them were pushed from the fall to the spring. So that actually hasn't taken up much of our time. We thought there'd be more exposures there and contacts and quarantines and all that, but that hasn't really been happening. I know the school is kicking around right now, or they're going to be starting doing pool testing. So what pool testing is if you've got a classroom of 20 kids or a soccer team of 20 kids, you basically take a swab from all 20 of them, put it all in one vial, and that vial gets tested. And if the vial comes back positive, then you test everybody. But because it's such a small number of people who are testing positive, it's a quick way it's cheaper and faster to test large groups. So they're starting that program. I think they're talking like next week for doing that. We've been meeting every Wednesday through Google Meet with all the nurses from the schools, and that's great. So we go over what cases are in quarantine and isolation, questions and answers and stuff. Sometimes we get people, but we can't get a hold of them. And so they have all their numbers, so it works out great. Again, the relationship with the schools, both Bristol Aggie, Bristol Plymouth, and DR has been wonderful, and it's made our lives really much easier. So that's that. Anything else we want
I mean, we're probably going to mention again in our next meeting, but the dates are bulky mail, bulky item pickup, and
That is the week of May 23rd for bulky item pickup.
and rabies vaccine, May 15th.
The rabies clinic has been scheduled for Saturday, May 15th, and that will be at the animal shelter on Tremont Street from 3 to 4 o'clock. There's a flyer on cable. It's been posted on social media, and it's also on the Town of Dayton website. That was, yes, that was the date agreed upon, and the fee for the vaccines or vaccinations is $18.
Bulky item pickup.
Anyone interested in participating in the bulky item pickup, you need to call the Board of Health, put a list together first, give us a call, let us know what items you would like picked up, and we can let you know how much the fee will be. And then we'll put those tags together for you, and we'll schedule an appointment for you to be able to come down and pick those up. You just need to put your articles out the night before. The highway department will be coming around about 7:30, the same day as your usual trash pickup. So you want your articles or items out the night before, and you just put the tags that we'll give you right on them, and they'll be happy to take them away for you. The pink bag program, the textile recycle program, is also still underway. If anyone needs bags, we have them here at Old Town Hall. The pickup is the same day as your regular trash pickup, and we have this program for another year. So if anyone needs bags or has any questions, feel free to give us a call. They basically will pick up just about any sort of textile that you are trying to get rid of. There is a list right on the bag if you're not sure of what they pick up, what they'll take. And any questions, again, you can give Todd or myself a call.
I believe that I was reading on the most valuable source of information, which is Facebook, about styrofoam being put in the bag. For those who think that styrofoam can be put in the pink bags, no, they take a lot of different things, including dishes and pocketbooks and sleeping bags and curtains and all kinds of textiles. But they probably, I know probably they will not take the styrofoam. Styrofoam is an item that will go into your regular trash to be burnt. So it is not recyclable, and it does not go in pink bags. So, what we're going to do now, unless Kevin, you'll Inspector Bernard,
Inspector
Bernardo.
Bernardo.
I lost my mind.
I don't have anything new. I'll be actually utilizing the bulky day this year, so it's good.
Okay.
You need to announce.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what day we're looking at household hazardous waste day yet, right? Correct?
Not yet. We're waiting to find out if the budget gets approved for the money to do it. If not, then we'll have to go for like a special article or something.
All righty, I think since our other member is here, we're going to move forward.
Want to
You
announce
want to
yourself?
add anything, Matt?
5:30.
Okay. The primary meeting where we are holding this special meeting tonight is to address our merry-go-round budget that was submitted, was changed at the request of the acting town administrator and presented. But I'm going to go as things transpired here, and we can open discussion. In the very first budget we proposed, there were increases in wages and hours for two people in our department. And I'm not at this point going to mention names of anybody, even those who may have gotten increases in different departments. At a budget meeting, and these increases, I think, were reasonable. We had a lot of discussion on it. What the duties and responsibilities of the members of our staff in this department we're doing along with COVID. I was not able to attend a meeting with the acting town administrator when this first was presented. I'm not quite sure of the date. It was approximately 2 weeks ago, I think. At that meeting, the health agent and office manager attended. And at that time, they were told the budgets were to be level funded and no more than 2% wage increase. So that being said, we brought it back to another meeting and had further discussion on our options and what we were going to do. Were we going to reduce it or not reduce it? At that same meeting, these two staff members were told, if you don't change it, I'll change it. And the particular person, acting town administrator, had no authority to make any changes because that is a responsibility of the 3-member board we have here. So being the team players that we are, we came back to a meeting and said, okay, we're from Dayton, all except for our health agent, but he might as well be, he is in Berkeley. We considered what was presented to us. We live in Dayton. We feel the pain just like everybody else on our tax dollars. So we said, okay, we can go with that for another year. So here we are now. Everything was cut back to 2%, no additional hours for anybody, and wage increases 2% or less. So I'm just trying to bring you guys up to speed. Next, we know there was we submitted that in accordance with what was requested of us. We get a letter from the Board of Selectmen office and with the agenda. I didn't get it. Todd got it, Rosalind got it, and Karen Brady got it. It came from the Board of Selectmen office telling us about the meeting, the budget meeting, and that we did not have to be there. I wasn't aware of this, but it appears we were the only department that got a letter that stated that you do not have to be there. So I was fine with that. I mean, in the beginning, and until I found out we were the only board that got it. So we have, is anybody on? Okay. So here we are with a 2% budget, level funded. As I said, like the team players we are. So we don't go to the meeting because we said we don't need to. So if any of you watched that particular Board of Selectmen meeting, it was acted upon 2%. And they also wondered where we were, the Board of Health. Well, considering we did what was asked, and we also received a letter, didn't need to go, we saw no reason to go. Because we're under the impression that everybody's getting level funded and there's going to be no wage increases more than 2%. I watched the selectmen's meeting, somewhat shocked how quickly it was acted upon by two members of the Board of Selectmen and one member asking or requesting or stating that we needed more information on the board. Normally, there would be somebody here. And after she made that comment, I just gave out who it was. After this member made the comment, the motion came right after that to approve the budget. So moving on, if you were watching any of that Board of Select meetings, but the Board of Selectmen meeting and the budgets, lo and behold, some departments approved additional hours, and they also approved wage increases over 2%. Now, that's hardly what I would call level funding in wage increase. It wasn't a lot of departments, but there were 5 or 6 maybe with additional hours.
There was only a handful.
With wage increases. We did meet with the town administrator today, the new town administrator. And what he recommended was that, which is what I was recommending anyway, that we request reconsideration of our department budget from the Board of Selectmen. And if everybody agrees tonight, we also submit what we originally voted on, which was the very first budget. So I'm going to open it up for discussion. Anybody who wants to go first. This is where we are. 2 things, actually, we hope to achieve tonight. Do we want to go back to the original budget? Over 2%, not level funding. Let me say, our budget was, most of our budget was not level funding due to contractual obligations.
But that was 433 and the board approved.
Different total budget, yeah. But which would, well, I guess I'm just gonna, you made me lose my train of thought. I'd like to hear whoever wants to open this up and talk about it. I feel we were misinformed. We didn't get the consideration that we should have received. If, you know, I'm not sure. I'm not saying we were misinformed intentionally. And we're not begrudging anyone who may have got an increase. We're not about that. But all we want is a fair shake. So here we are. Go.
I will say I'm a firm believer, if no one's going to get an increase, or if someone's not going to get an increase unless there's a specific issue relating to that employee, you know, but assuming there's no issues, which we haven't been notified there's any issues, what you do for one, you need to do for all. Period. And to see other departments, and again, I don't begrudge anyone for getting an increase at all. However, what's good for one needs to be good for all. And if one particular department's going to get increases, but not another, or others, that's not appropriate. And I'll leave that at that. 2, I'm disgusted with the fact that one member of the Board of Selectmen wanted more information, and instead of seeking that more information and actually having the board or a member of the board or even the health agent go in and explain the budget and what we did and why we submitted what we did, after we were told we didn't need to be there, in writing, no less, that it wasn't tabled to a later date in which we could be there. I think that's inappropriate, and I will stand firm with that. And just to move forward the way it was done, I don't think that's okay.
Yeah, now you just brought something to light. Health agent had sent over a 4-page memo, or letter, if you will, explaining job duties and responsibilities, and explained also why we were looking or seeking a favorable recommendation on hours and wages. And the town administrator did tell us today that he had not seen that letter. And I believe that no member of the Board of Selectmen saw that letter, nor did they see the wage comparison that was submitted. Am I correct in this? Or did you
We
submit?
didn't submit one.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm in error. It's just a 4-page letter explaining the duties, the additional duties and responsibilities that have been incurred by the health agent and office manager
Prior to COVID.
prior to COVID, yes. So I just want to throw that out there. Another reason why I'm a little upset, as Mr. Tanis has spoken. Mr. Bernardo, you want to?
Sure, definitely. I was actually present for some of that meeting on part of the conservation, but I was taken back when I got to watch the whole video, the whole recording. Because what I saw there was each department, the ones that presented increases, were able to discuss the need, why they did it, and discuss with the Board of Selectmen. And then there was some dialogue, and then it was approved. But that's what we did as a board originally. We sat down when it was budget time. We identified that we were looking to increase hours. We identified that we needed that. We asked Todd if he was willing to do that. He agreed, and we looked to give him a pay raise with that. And then we also identified Rosalind's pay grade, and we were looking to hopefully bring that before the selectmen. So when the acting town administrator said we couldn't do any of that, it just had to be level funded, it was a little disheartening. So.
One department needs to be level funded. All departments should be level funded. And I get contractual agreements, that's separate, but outside of contractual agreements, you can't tell one department to be level funded and not others. That is not okay. And I would be saying that even if I was sitting in the general public, not on this board. That is not okay.
I actually had the chance to speak to someone from the union with permission, of course. And they had said it was a very simple process. If your job duties change, you just demonstrate that to the Board of Selectmen, the differences. And then you can go for that pay increase if it's warranted or not. But we were responsible, I think, to set that money aside, anticipating that if it happened, and then again, we wouldn't have had the chance to even speak.
Well, I firmly believe that 4.5-page letter said what the board had to say for why we thought this was necessary. And the selectmen should have had that in their packet. So when we went there, they said, well, we got this letter from the Board of Health, let's read that. And that didn't happen. And that's also where it fell short, because we put it to them in writing. So it's not this, oh, you misspeak or you say something different than the other person says. It's in writing.
If there was miscommunication and they didn't see that, that's fine. But the fact that we were not given an opportunity to speak and it was just voted on and that was that's wrong. And I'm troubled.
I think we're pretty much all in agreement that for some reason, whether it be, which I don't think intentional, I hope it wouldn't be, that we were left out of the conversation in the budget process. So I'm going to be asking for 2 motions. One being we send them a letter, Board of Selectmen, requesting reconsideration of our first department budget request. What was the second one? Help me out here. What was the second? No, I guess I rolled that into one.
Yeah, I think
I
it was,
think it's-
Yeah, I rolled that into one.
because I know one was reconsideration and then, because we're not voting a different budget, we're basically saying just go back to the first budget.
Yeah, I think what I was considering was voting making a motion on the original, to submit the original budget. The second motion would be to request the Board of Selectmen to reconsider, but I think I rolled that into one motion. So what the motion we're going to act on will be requesting the Board of Selectmen to reconsider our original budget requests in accounts 510 and 519, I believe. Okay. So if anybody wants to make that motion,
So
Second.
motion is made and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Just, they seek input from the board or our staff, so they understand what it is we're asking for.
You want to put that in the letter? Is that what you're?
Yeah, make it perfectly clear.
Yeah.
No, we're going to be there this time.
Oh, I know, I want it in writing so they are aware.
Yeah.
You are going to get our input.
because I was at that meeting already. If I would have known that we had issues and they wanted to discuss it, I would just kept trying to, I kept getting logged off, but I would have tried again and again, right?
Okay, motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Roll call.
Oh, that's right, roll call. Do a roll call vote. Mr. Bernardo,
Aye.
Mr. Tanis,
I-
Mr. Pires. I don't need to vote, but I will vote aye.
Do you know if that would be, will that be for tomorrow's?
Yeah, I hope. Well, we're gonna be there
They're
anyway.
hoping they're gonna wrap all the budgets up tomorrow night. So yes, it should be tomorrow night. We are on the agenda for tomorrow night already. Because we obviously asked to be up there.
I'll be there.
But we're down a ways, so the meeting starts at, time's the meeting start?
She's ahead of us too.
So the meeting starts at 6 PM because cable can't get there before 6.
Well, our budget took 5 minutes. So if they all take 5 minutes, then they should get to us rather quickly. Maybe
then-
they're all level funded.
There's a congressional community project funding request. Then there's letter of interest for a one-stop portal, which is for the online permitting program that they're trying to get for the Board of Health and other departments. A licensing agreement for a solar facility, a police lieutenant job description, which is one of the new positions they're creating. And then they do the budgets that they were held, Board of Selectmen, police, communication, education, and then the Board of Health. And then after us is Commission on Disability, Sewer, Library, Group Health Insurance, Group Life Insurance. And then, well, these are the ones they held. So, and then planning, public buildings, gas inspection, plumbing inspection,
okay.
electrical inspection. And then they go back and anything else they wanted to talk about any of them. So we're kind of in the middle, but yeah, I don't see it happening before 7:30. They're also talking about the Easter Bunny Drive that they're looking to do behind Town Hall by WAGs, which they've already talked to us about because we have to approve it. And we've already told them they could have their event. Meeting starts at 6. And it is a live meeting as well as on Zoom. So if you can't be here, you can watch.
I just wanted to add something to public input that we're going to be discussing next meeting anyway. In that, Mr. Tanis, I think you've seen it already probably. It's about opting out of the arbovirus spraying. We're gonna be discussing that at our next meeting. I don't know if you've seen it. They're asking, they're giving the communities the right to opt out of arbovirus aerial spraying and so forth. So you can think about it. Just wanted to throw it out there. We can't make that decision. Board of Selectmen makes it. We send a recommendation over. And they make the decision. So that's out there for your consideration for next meeting. Anything else? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
That was a motion made by Matt Tanis,
Yeah, I was gonna
seconded by
say.
Kevin Bernardo.
I got it now.
Okay, yeah.
Motion made by Mr. Tanis to adjourn, seconded by Mr. Bernardo. Roll call vote. Mr. Bernardo,
Aye.
Mr. Tanis,
Aye.
Mr. Fires, aye. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed tonight's meeting.